So, I think that it's important to start with, the people who made it possible.
I think you might want to introduce yourself first.
Do I though?
I'm sure everyone...
Do I?
Everyone is familiar with Liam.
Hi, I'm Liam.
He didn't even get a round of applause. He doesn't deserve that. Don't do it.
That's fair. Joshua did all of the work, I'm just here to be pretty.
So this is Liam Esler. Do you want to give your quick bio?
Sure. So I am a game developer, I'm a writer and producer, and by some weird chance of fate, an event manager. And I run the Australian Game Developers Conference with the Game Developers Association of Australia and GX Australia, and yeah, that's about me. And this is Joshua Meadows, and he can give his bio.
I am also a writer and a game developer and a journalist and all of those things. And I was doing event management on smaller scales before GX Australia, and when we thought we've got the credentials to do this. Running events is easy.
Basically, a 200-person event is the same as a 1,000-person.
Pretty much.
Like,
yeah.
Come on, like it's basically the same, right?
And we're incredibly privileged to be able to do this for all of you, and we're incredibly lucky that you trusted us with lots of money to make it happen, and we're super happy to be able to do this.
Yeah. So there are a couple of companies that we have to thank who allowed us to be here today, because without them, there was no way that we would be. And these slides are going to look slightly messed up because the resolution changed, but Nintendo. So, Nintendo, the incredible company that they are, came in at the last minute to support GX Australia at a time when we really needed funding, when we were really worried that we weren't going to be able to actually run the event because we were $60,000 from doing so. And with their help and the help of all of you and Big Ant, who I'll get to in a minute, we were able to raise the money that we needed to actually put this on, and that's so exciting. And it was very, very scary for a while there because we had this massive responsibility that we wanted to create this incredible event for you, and we weren't sure that we were going to be able to. And it is thanks to Nintendo in large part that we're here today. So can we get a round of applause for Nintendo? They have a bunch of awesome games on the floor. Their booth is very cool.
They have the coolest, it's really cool. So
they have a couple of games that aren't even out yet, and I think that this is one of the first times you can actually play them in Australia, so that's pretty rad. Next on the list is Big Ant. Who's heard of Big Ant Studios? Excellent. So Big Ant make incredible sports games, and they've always been a really big supporter of GX Australia right from the start. They were one of our major sponsors last year, and they've come back again to support us, which is really incredible, and for that we're incredibly thankful. They're wonderful. Our mega sponsors, the IGDA Foundation, who actually came on board so early with this event, like they were literally the first sponsor. And for the longest time, we couldn't announce them yet, so we're so excited that they were able to support us. And Unreal. Unreal also came to the table to help us out, and we're incredibly thankful. And if you haven't checked out Unreal Engine, go do so. Our super sponsors, AIE, A Township Tale, and Dinosaur Polo Club. AIE has an awesome booth inside. Unfortunately, A Township Tale couldn't be here. They had to make an emergency trip to the US. But we're nevertheless very, very thankful that they were able to support us. And Dinosaur Polo Club, who are actually a New Zealand company, and threw us money all the way across the ocean because they felt so passionately.
I think they stuck it to a kiwi bird and
just hurled it. That was a good catch, by the way. And all three of these companies have been incredibly supportive of us, and we're very, very grateful. Next, we have our actually very impressively long list of sponsors. So one of the things about this event, it costs a lot of money to put on. And so it takes a lot of people to come to the table and help. We have A Little Sketchy, Beta Bar, CG Spectrum, Cotton Candy Cyanide, and Quantum Suicide. Dorky Studios, Defiant Development, EA Fire Monkeys, Many Monkeys, MCV Pacific, Minsuel, Midboss, Mighty Games, no, NSI Games, Obsidian Entertainment. We have Our Century Studios, Rev IQ, The Secret Lab, Science Space, Stirfire Studios, Tech Outsiders, Tin Man, Tiande Games, Wayward Strand, and Yak & Co. So if you could please give a massive hand to all of these incredible people who have supported us. Many of them the first year as well, and came back and support us the second year. So we have a really incredible schedule today. And tomorrow.
Oh yeah. The schedule, the schedule last year was incredible, and this year is like 50,000 times better. I could not be more blown away by the insightful talks that we're going to have, the really awesome developer panels that we've got. We've got a dedicated developer track.
Yeah, that's
for
really
people
cool.
who want to get involved in video games, making games, how you can make games better, etc. And that's such an incredible resource that I'm really, really happy that we can do this year.
Thanks to the IGDA Foundation. So we've got some really cool stuff happening this weekend, everyone. We just put up the meet and greets. So if you haven't seen them on the website yet, there are meet and greets for Adam Coble, Ray Johnston, Tanya DePass, Tim Kane, Hex, Felix Kramer, and Kim Allen. They're right at the top of the schedule on the website, so go check it out. You can go hang out with them at the chill out zone right next to Tabletop in the next room. We do have some really incredible panels today. Some in this room, some in the developer panel room just out there, and some in the big end room. If you are confused at any point in the program, there is a map, and any of our lovely sprites, our volunteers, can help show you the way if you get confused. So I would definitely suggest checking out the schedule because there's some really, really awesome stuff there. One of the other awesome things that we have is our bosses. Our bosses.
Oh yeah, our special guests, many of whom somehow managed to survive American flights. And I don't know what's going on in the US. I'm from the US originally, and they're like dragging people off of planes. I don't know what's going on.
You put me on United.
This was before that. We booked those flights before that happened. Incredible journey for many of them to be here to support us, and we're very, 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 very happy to have them here. Incredible people like
Rami Ismail, Casey Conway, Tanya DePass, Hex, Ken Wong, Jordan Raskopoulos, Katherine Cross, who is going to come and do a keynote in a little bit. We have Adam Coble, Kim Allen, Felix Kramer, Eve Beauregard, Lucy O'Brien, Ray Johnston, Tim Kane, Variable, and Damien Bonson. These are all incredible people. And one of the things that we love to do here at GX is, we're not like other cons, where the special guests are segregated behind a table somewhere, and you have to either pay money to go see them, or you have to line up for several hours to get an autograph. We want you guys, all of you, to just hang out. We want you to feel free to go up and talk to all of the bosses. They're here to say hi to you, they're here to support you, they're here to have conversations with you, and they're all the nicest people you could possibly meet. There's a reason that we invited all of them. And so if you see them, go up and say hi. They're going to be around, some of them are doing meet and greets, like I said. All of them are doing panels. Feel free to go up and say hi, that's the whole point. You're going to be on the floor. This is an event where you can actually meet these people and have conversations with them, and they are some of the smartest, nicest people you will ever meet. So please take advantage of that while they're here.
they're more afraid of you than you are of them, I promise.
What are you saying about the bosses? They're not spiders. So there's a few pieces of housekeeping just really quickly before Josh is going to talk about the future of GX Australia. So first up, if you pledge for a VIP t-shirt, please go to registration, just bring up your Kickstarter email with the pledge, and they will sort you with a shirt. Very straightforward. I know that some people didn't pick up their shirts this morning, so just double check And yeah, take your Kickstarter email to registration and they'll sort you out. There is a cafe in the food court with food. Hopefully, all of the panels will be recorded. Fingers crossed. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. This is the event where everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. So, in theory, everything should be great.
We have tried really hard. I know one of the things that we had last year was the theater was live streamed to Twitch, and we only discovered afterward that while it was live streamed, it was not saved. So none of the content from last year unfortunately survived. So we tried really, really hard to make sure that we've got some permanent recordings. So there is a camera in every room, and in theory, every panel is being recorded. And we will find out if that theory bears true next week.
Photography. So we have a couple of rules about photography at GX Australia. If you're going to take a photo of someone, you have to get their permission first. If it's a photo featuring them prominently, please ask them. Consent is something that we value incredibly highly here in all forms. So if you do want to take a photo of somebody, please ask their permission first. Group shots are totally fine, but if you are featuring someone prominently, you do need to ask their permission. And if someone comes up to you asking you to delete a photo because you didn't ask permission, please accede to that request.
Have a good time. We want you to enjoy yourselves, but yeah, if there's a lot of people who aren't comfortable with it being public that they're here, and we want everyone to respect that.
Yeah. Finally, we have an after party. Thanks to many of you who double dipped to help us out again. And so tomorrow night at the brewery from 7.
Which is almost literally around the corner. It's super convenient. You can walk there. If you came by train, it's very close to the train station. So there will inevitably be large crowds of people heading that way. And please go to it. We have a minimum spend to hit. The venue that we're hosting it at is not typically open on Sundays, so they've given it to us exclusively if we hit a minimum spend. And if we don't hit a minimum spend, we'll be doing, I think, a 50th Kickstarter for GX Australia.
Isn't that like 57?
Yeah, 57.
57 Kickstarter, yeah.
So please consider coming by, even if you don't drink. There will be social games. They've got soda, chips, and so on. It'll be an awesome opportunity to hang out with everybody and give this event a proper goodbye.
Yeah. So I'm going to hand over to Joshua and step up. Well, no, should I stay on stage?
Yeah, stay on stage. Don't make me be bad daddy, Joshua.
Joshua's going to talk to us a little bit about the future.
Okay. Well, I suppose I should really briefly do the past. So Liam and I went into this event for the first year, and we spent almost a year planning before we really even made it public. And so we went to pretty much every company that is tangentially related to video games and geek culture and said, hey, we want to do this. Can you help us make it happen? And we did this with the support of Midboss, who run GamerX in the United States, who've been really great with looking at us and saying, you've got this awesome, really energized community in Australia, and we think it's a really great fit for this event over there. So we went into it with maybe naive beliefs in when someone says, here's a concrete amount of money we'll give you, that can be relied on. So we learned after the first year that that didn't happen. And much of that was not due to any sort of maliciousness on the part of any company that was involved. They make commitments that they can't actually do because they're not the one that makes those decisions, or there's budgetary problems, and when we asked at the beginning of the year, their game tanked and now they don't have the money that they thought they'd have. So everyone who backed out, we understand the rationale, but it did not change the situation that we were in. That we suddenly had a lot of money that Liam and I had to put in ourselves personally to make sure that the first event could actually happen. So we were determined that was not going to happen this year, because we didn't want to go into any further debt, and we also wanted to make sure that the debt from the first event was repaid. And again, had concrete promises from many of the same companies that concretely promised the first year that we could count on them, and once again, that did not happen. So the financial aspect of it, I think, has been one. Maybe frustration is a strong word, but I'm going to go with it. That at the end of the day, there's a lot of very large organizations that have really amazing individuals involved in them, but the corporate messaging is, we really like diversity, we really support it, and okay, here's a concrete way to demonstrate that. Oh no, we don't support it concretely. So the tone of it ends up being that where's the commitment? And whatever reason it is that didn't happen, the fact of the matter is there's been a lot of commitments made that didn't come true. So that put us in this position of, can we make this sustainable? And we feel like it's an incredible amount of money to run these events. For me personally, I grew up like poor. I lived in the back of a truck for the first 4 years of my life. I was homeless in New York when I moved up there from 18. So the idea of having, I think it was $250,000 raised for this event, almost. And the thought of having that money and doing, I love the party. Like, I'm happy that we have this event. I know how much it means to so many people here who this is the only opportunity they have to actually express their identities amongst people who are gonna make them feel good. And I absolutely get the value of that, but at the same time, 2010 is doing our campfire, and I think, wow, we raised a lot of money, and what could that have done elsewhere? So it's an interesting thing to be up here saying, I feel really bad that we spent all of this money on this event, and also, we spent all of this money, let's have a good time. So, what Liam and I have discussed is how can we actually use this concept in a way that, one, can hold companies more accountable. Like, if you do the diversity and the representation talk, you've got to actually back that up with something. And also, what can we do to actually help out other organizations who, don't have the means to raise as much money as we have. And we're still discussing what we want to do in that respect, and we've got ideas that we're batting around and we'll probably get community involvement on once we actually have de-stressed from all of this. But whether that takes the form of maybe smaller, more regular, more regional events is something that we've been looking at. Whether that takes the form of a GX Australia seal of approval for companies that are actually doing the right thing as far as we're concerned. We've got a lot of ideas, and we're looking forward to actually reaching out to the community to see, at the end of the day, this is a community-driven event, and it would just be me and Liam sitting in a very expensive room, staring at each other, without all of you. And
So to be clear, this is an actual nightmare that Joshua had at one point.
recurring nightmare for the first event. I thought it was just going to be me and Liam in the expo hall, and all of the exhibitors like, you promised us 1,000 people. And fortunately, I'm like, I can't believe how many people showed up. I'm looking out across this crowd, and it is so cool. So we want to make sure that what we do going forward is using your energy and your resources to the best effect. So look forward to that, because we want to get you involved in what we can do. As I've said many times, don't treat this weekend as a funeral. This is a celebration, and most importantly, it's a celebration of all of you. So this may be the last GX Australia event in this form. We don't plan to go quietly, so with your help, we'll still, be able to do awesome things.
But we probably also won't ask you so much more money.
Yeah, no. I think we're done with asking for money.
Thanks for that. So now that we've gone through all of the vaguely depressing stuff that is like the state of the union, I want to talk very, very quickly about why we're here. So, GX Australia is the most inclusive con, and we use that word for a reason. We want everyone to feel welcome and included. And that is both from us, but also for you. We want you to treat each other with respect and try to include each other as much as possible. There's a lot of people who come to this event who struggle in social situations or who maybe are anxious and don't feel comfortable introducing themselves. So whenever you can, if someone's comfortable, ask and include them. Go say hi. Sometimes they might not want to have a talk, and that's fine. But we're here to have a great time, to hang out, to talk about games and geek culture, to learn about how we can make the world a better place. And the best way we can do that is by starting right here in this space. So let's make the world a better place just for this weekend in this hall, all together. If you haven't already, we have rules and an inclusion. Haven't looked at it? There's rules and inclusion policy on the website. It's like at the bottom, there's a link. Have a read through it really quickly, just have a skim. It will help you to sort of understand the best ways to interact in this space. And if you have any questions or you are unsure, you can ask any of our sprites who have been very well trained in a lot of these issues. They've all had sensitivity training and they've been told how to deal with these situations, taught how to handle things. So if you are unsure of anything, like please ask one of us, anyone in a pink shirt, or Joshua or I, and we will help you out. So, I can see Katherine taking notes there. Hi. Do you need a few more minutes or? Okay, so.
Before Catherine's, on the subject of the Amazing Sprite, the Amazing Sprites, give them a round of applause. As Liam and I have mentioned several times, this is a volunteer-run event. We don't make any money from this, and indeed we paid a lot of money personally as well. And the Sprites have donated their Friday, Saturday, and Sundays to be here, and they are awesome people. We picked them specifically because of their energy and their professionalism and their sincerity. And it's a long weekend, and they're going to be very tired by the end of it. So give them your appreciation, and also go to all of the exhibitors in the expo hall and give them your appreciation as well, because this event could not have happened without them. And they're really awesome by supporting this event. And so make sure that they also feel like this was worthwhile for them as well.
Yeah. So, Katherine Cross is going to come up and talk to us for a little while and give our opening keynote. Katherine is a widely published scholar and critic. Her work has appeared in Wired, Rolling Stone, Polygon, The Guardian, Bitch Magazine, which is like the coolest name for a magazine ever, Feministing, Kotaku, Boing Boing, and just so many others. She's a sought-after commentator on nerd culture and online toxicity. And she's often interviewed in global media about antisocial behavior in virtual worlds. Katherine is one of the people at the forefront of the diversity and inclusion movement in games and in culture widely, and we're very, very honored to have her come and talk to us today. So thank you so much.
So, hello everyone. As Liam hinted at in his wonderful and very flattering introduction of me, I, for my sins, am also a political writer in addition to writing about video games. So there's going to be quite a bit of that in my address this morning. So buckle up. After all, you don't really need me to tell you that this has been a terrifying year. The impossible became true, writ large for all of us to see, turning life into the misshapen horror of a Bill Leak cartoon. So, what now for those of us involved in the world of gaming? Is this all just repeatedly pressing X to fiddle while Rome burns? Regarding another traumatic political moment and the role of art and artists therein, Kurt Vonnegut had this to say, quote, "During the Vietnam War, which lasted longer than any war we've ever been in, and which we lost, every respectable artist in this country was against the war. It was like a laser beam. We were all aimed in the same direction. But the power of this weapon turns out to have been that of a custard pie dropped from a stepladder 6 feet high." End quote. Of course, that's not quite true because we care about the fact that it was Kurt Vonnegut who said that. We care because his work left an impact, because like all good art, it confers an immortality upon ideas, the visual or literal language used to convey the otherwise ineffable parts of the human spirit. It lasts, it carries lessons, it teaches us long after the hand that held the pen or the paintbrush has withered away into the stardust whence we all came. To measure the power of art by whether or not it can topple a tyrant is, in some ways, to miss the point. That's not where art's power lies. It lies in what has been created here, in this space, this weekend, in the joy on people's faces, the enthusiastic pride in their cosplay, the pins on their lanyards, the dirty geeky jokes we share in these Olympian halls. It builds community. It blazes spaces of conceptual possibility. It makes the impossible true in the best way. Christine Love's Lady Killer in a Bind reflected more of my sexuality than I've yet seen in any game. And it sold like hotcakes, despite Steam initially locking it out from its storefront. Meanwhile, Rebecca Sugar's Steven Universe has a character named Pearl, who is the most me character I've yet encountered in popular fiction, something I never thought I'd live to see. These things fill the reservoir of strength I draw from when I go beyond the world of gaming to write about contemporary events, to write about politics, to assail the alt-right or the neo-fascists or what little is left of Gamergate. A work of art may not destroy a tyrant, but it is part of a chain of community that builds up the collective strength to resist. Art, including video games, forms the ramparts of the mind, preventing its colonization by despair, and it should be obvious why we need that now, perhaps more than ever. It is certainly true that, as my colleague and gaming critic Zoyander Street put it recently, art cannot save us, but we need to save art. That is everyone's job in the days and months and years to come, whether by unapologetically making that art or by supporting the people who do, enabling them to do what they love so we can all enjoy more of what we love. What will save us lies at the heart of the protests roiling the world's streets. What will save us involves interceding to help when you see someone being harassed for who they are, in resisting the urge to use gaming merely to check out from the world rather than to also imagine a new one, in sharing the spirit of this hall with the whole of this wounded nation, for all those queer folks who haven't come out yet, for whom the only reflection of themselves they see are the grotesque caricatures on 7 and 9 or in the Telegraph. There was never a time for complacency. Not in this age when Nauru is a byword for national shame, when the Labour Party has forgotten a great deal more than just the U in its name, and the very idea of safe schools is considered controversial. But if there ever was such a time for complacency, it is most certainly over now. None of this precludes the ongoing work of video gaming, though. It exists rather in continuity with it, providing what trans activist Janet Mock called possibility models for people to follow, to enable them to dream and believe in something that you help them imagine. Whether it's dystopias that teach us how to resist, utopias that give us a dream to strive for, or just something silly to help us forget for a few hours, we need that now more than ever. The world where Watch Dogs 2 sits beside Mafia 3, beside Lady Killer and beside Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is the world I need to live in right now to build up the strength to carry on. Use what privilege and access you may have to make room for the many people of colour who have been creating or who will need to create, to vent, to inspire and organise and to live. In this day and age, where what it means to be Australian is still too often defined simply by whiteness, when I walk the streets of Sydney and Melbourne and see diverse places and 100 languages that remind me just as much of my home in New York, I see real Australia and real Australians who are not represented in this nation's media discourses, but who are a central part of this nation's incredible video gaming industry. And they play a unique role in creating the imaginative worlds that I'm talking about. But this country, in spite of its many sorrows, has produced incredible works of digital art and continues to do so, many of which will be on display in the Expo Hall this weekend. Australia's indie-driven game industry, led by so many queer and queer-positive people from that array of backgrounds, represents what is best about this land, what is best about the future that it can represent. Far from being the isolated antipode of the metropole, Australia is connected to a world of thoughtful and provocative game design that speaks to people from the four corners of the earth in every language. Australia gave us Killing Time at Light Speed and Crossing Road alike, Objects in Space and Symphony of the Machine. From Australia's mining boom and bust comes Ticket to Earth. From Melbourne's tram-track-laden grit comes Necro Barista. Throw a tomato simulator and a wombat simulator in there, and you've got the digital land down under. Hope taking flight at light speed from what some consider the other side of the world. Such games provide a moment's breath in a world still gasping for air. This is what will care for people on the edge of the night. So if making games is what you can do it. Don't feel like it's pointless now, or that it's somehow disrespectful or unequal to the terror of our time. Remember that one of the early warning signs of this new age of fascism lay in the organised online harassment of our own gaming community by people who wanted to turn back the clock. But our art was powerful enough to scare them, and even, ultimately, to triumph over them, as our continued existence and endurance in this space is testimony to. The games that they hate are still being made, the stories still being told, and are still drawing crowds. We have a proof of concept for our existence and our endurance. We know the story isn't all roses, we know we've lost people, but we are still here. We yet live, we yet create, we yet critique. To play is human, and we shall need all of our humanity in the days to come. I think the ending of Tennyson's immortal poem Ulysses might well be speaking to us in this moment. Though much is taken, much abides. That which we are, one equal temper of heroic hearts made weak by time and fate, but strong in will. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katherine, for that incredibly inspiring speech. Really well, excellent. Wow. Okay. We're almost here. Do you have any last words before we hand over?
I think we've said enough, haven't we?
Probably. I'm sure you're all sick of our faces on your social media feeds, on the
Twitter,
Kickstarter. So we're gonna shut up for a while, and we're gonna let you speak. This is your event. We were lucky enough to be involved and to create this event because of you and for you. And so from here on in, it's up to you. We were able to sort of provide the space and do the planning and invite people. And now you have to take this event. You have to decide what you want it to be. You have to decide the kind of things that you want to see. Embody the people that you want to see around you. And this is a chance where you can be safe, a chance where you can be loved, because you are all loved by everyone in this room. We're all here because we want to be included, and because we feel that everyone should be included. So go and have an incredible event. Go and fucking kill it. We love all of you. Thank you very much.